It's a famous Chicago landmark and one of the tallest buildings in the world. Tonight, there are serious safety questions about the John Hancock building. And there's talk of evacuating more than 24 floors of that giant tower.
Now, the problem is with one of the Hancock's water pumps. Right now, city inspectors claim water pressure is so low it poses a safety threat in the event of a fire. And Chicago lawyers are in court arguing for a partial evacuation of the Hancock. But building management says new testing of the water pump in question will show no danger exists.
Let's go to Robin George live at the Hancock building for the latest. Robin?
Ron, tens of thousands of people pass through the Hancock Center every day. Those who run the building say they would close it down immediately and voluntarily if there was any sign of danger. But the city says it is worried about its citizens. Chicago's John Hancock Center is world famous. But in the event of fire, is it safe? The city says no.
At this time, no, we don't believe it's safe. It's a serious situation.
Today, the city took the Hancock building to court. Lawyers argue the situation is so dangerous that floors 17 to 39 should be evacuated. A random inspection by the fire department on Friday showed that one of the building's water pumps was not working. There are several pumps which push water to the top of the Hancock in case of fire. But the inspection showed that pump number 2, the pump that services the 17th through 39th floor, was providing only a fraction of the water necessary to fight fire. The remainder of the building is okay. Right now, an additional sprinkler system is being installed throughout the Hancock. The fire department says that sprinkler system may have jeopardized the standpipe system. But lawyers for the Hancock called 3 expert witnesses today who insist the building is safe.
Of course, I think the building is safe, and I don't think that we're going to get someone out there to test it immediately, and they're going to show that it's safe.
That inspection is scheduled to happen overnight. Meanwhile, the general manager of the Hancock Center says he's 100% confident the new test will show the pumps are in perfect working order. Tenants are still a bit concerned.
Well, I never was aware that that was a problem, but now that you're mentioning it, it's something that's, to consider.
It makes me nervous. I assume it's something that they'll take care of now that it's been drawn to their attention.
If the problem isn't corrected by Tuesday morning, Judge Morton Zwick says he will order the partial evacuation of the Hancock Center. Those floors are mainly office spaces. But the Hancock hopes that the test done overnight will alleviate any concerns even before the start of business tomorrow. Reporting live, I'm Robin George. Back to you.
Well, Robin, it's also interesting that we're watching the wheels seem to grind slowly. If there's a danger tonight as well as there is next Tuesday.
Well, the Hancock says it first found out of any potential problem last Friday, but they are disputing the test results. They think that the test was done inaccurately, and that's why they think that the test done overnight will correct any concerns. So that's why the Hancock doesn't believe there's a concern at all.
Okay, thanks, Robin. Well, what city officials are obviously worried about is a high-rise fire they wouldn't be able to control. There was such a fire in 1987 at One Illinois Center on Wacker Drive. It happened late at night on the 20th floor. A woman working late was trapped and died. Firefighters weren't able to get to her in time because of several things, including malfunctioning elevators, and they complained that a maze of cubicles in every office contributed to the deadly delay, and at the time of that fire in 1987, that building did not have a sprinkler system. So again, as we said, there will be another test of the Hancock's system overnight, and we'll tell you how that goes tomorrow.
He's considered the mastermind of a Chicago mob street crew, but tonight, Rocco Ernest Infelice and 2 colleagues in crime are heading to prison. Infelice is sentenced to 63 years. Robert Bellavia gets 30 years. And Louis Marino gets 28 years, all convicted of running a huge gambling and juice loan operation in Cook and Lake counties. Channel 5's Phil Rogers has more.
A rare scene played out in a federal courtroom. Convicted mob gambling boss Rocco Infelice at his own sentencing accusing Judge Ann Williams of being biased, siding with the government throughout his trial. I believe in law and order, justice, and the jury system, said Infelice, but these prosecutors brought witnesses worse than the defendants they were trying. We didn't get a fair trial. We were fighting 3 prosecutors here, and you were the 4th one. Nonetheless, Judge Williams gave Infelice what amounts to a life sentence and potential life terms for his co-defendants. 63 years for the 71-year-old Infelice, 30 for Robert Bellavia, 28 for Louis Marino. Infelice is seen here with one-time associate turned government informant William Jehoda, discussing the murder of a competitor which Jehoda said Infelice and his co-defendants plotted and carried out. The jury could not reach a verdict on murder charges, only conspiracy. But Judge Ann Williams assigned the stiffest penalties allowed, declaring the Infelice Street Crew an organization that existed for a number of purposes, all of them illegal. Afterward, defense attorney Patrick Tewitt picked up where his client left off, saying the judge had sentenced Infelice for a crime which the jury could not agree on, and that would be the basis of his appeal.
It subverts the whole jury system to say, jury didn't find him guilty, but I'm going to find him guilty, and I'm going to give him a sentence. His sentence should be about 6 years for gambling and those things that the jury found him guilty of.
Self-proclaimed mob princess Antoinette Giancana led the cheers for Infelice in the courtroom, declaring Judge Williams had singled the three out for harsh treatment just because of who they were.
I think there's two kinds of justices, and there's justices for the alleged mobster, and there's other justices for other people. I think it's an injustice to my people.
Phil Rogers, Channel 5 News.
Now, the last defendant in the case, Salvatore De Laurentiis, is supposed to be sentenced sometime next week.
Tonight, a new allegation of sex abuse against an Illinois priest. The alleged victim has filed a $3.5 million lawsuit against a Belleville priest and the Roman Catholic diocese there. Stephen McCaffrey of New Mexico alleges that Robert Vonneman, a Catholic priest, showed him pornography and sexually assaulted him at a children's camp in 1981. McCaffrey was 13 years old at the time.
I volunteered to be an altar boy, and that was how he gained access to me.
Vonneman is also named in 2 other sexual misconduct complaints. In March, he stepped down as pastor of St. Joseph Parish in Elizabethtown. 6 priests and a deacon have now been asked to leave their positions in the Belleville diocese in just the past few months.
4 Chicago police officers remain hospitalized following the collision of 2 police cars last night on the northwest side. That crash occurred just before 1 a.m. at Broadway and Catalpa. An unmarked tactical unit car rammed a squad car, pushing it into a restaurant. It took more than an hour to cut the driver of the squad from his car. A total of 6 officers injured. 2 remain in serious condition. Both cars are responding to a report of a man with a gun.
The pressure is building to solve Chicago's school funding crisis. Ahead, how students and parents are taking matters into their own hands.
And later, why gangs in one CHA project are too. We'll tell you why snipers are taking pot shots at workers.
And in Health Watch, details about the strongest link yet between cigarettes and a deadly cancer. Those stories and more coming up on the Channel 5 News at 5.
The sun has almost set on Summer Fantastico at the Olive Garden, but there's still time to enjoy exciting Fantastico food like pasta chips and dip, tri-caro ravioletti, grilled zucchini on rigatoni, a marvelous mixed grill combo, super salads, and Fantastico desserts. And there's still time to enter to win a trip to Italy. But do come in soon with family and friends to the Olive Garden before the sun sets on Summer Fantastico.
Bet this got a great reception from Mars.
When it's not playing music, it doubles as an anchor.
Look, it's a TV, it's a toolbox, it's a 2-in-1 miracle of modern technology.
Oh, this must have been hard to part with.
Best Buy is making it easy to part with your old stereo and video stuff. This week, get 0% financing for 1 year on stereo systems, speakers and components, TVs, VCRs, and camcorders at Best Buy.
I'm telling you, avocado green, it's coming back.
Looking for a great deal on a great car? Well, your nearest Nissan dealer's the right place, and now is the right time. It's Nissan's 93 model year-end clearance. Now's the time to make your best deal on Altima, the #1 selling new car nameplate introduced this year. Or save up to $2,000 with factory-to-dealer incentives on trucks, Maximas, and the rest of the award-winning Nissans. A clearance like this only happens once a year, and this one is happening right now at your nearest Nissan dealer.
In a month at the right time.
Great look. Hey, what's the venture price? Whoa! The other guy? Whoa.
Calling you to urge you to call on Governor Edgar to convene a special session of the...
In School Watch tonight, parents and students take to the phones urging lawmakers to meet so Chicago Public Schools can open on time. Now, that deadline is looming for the Chicago School Board to balance its budget and open schools next month. Right now, teachers' union delegates are getting a progress report on contract talks. Mayor Daley expresses optimism while touring 2 Chicago schools. Plus, parents and students are using their power of persuasion on state lawmakers. Channel 5's Derek Blakely is live in the loop with more on this story. Derek?
Mark, as you said, members of the Teachers Union House of Delegates are meeting here at the Bismarck Hotel, receiving an update on contract talks from Union President Jacqueline Vaughn. Now, as you may know, both Mayor Daley and Governor Edgar are saying there must be contract concessions from teachers and that contract must be wrapped up before there'll be any more state aid from Springfield. But earlier today, over at the school board, parents, teachers, and students were on the phones urging legislators not to wait.
Yes, I'm a parent of the Chicago public school system.
I'm calling you to urge on Governor Edgar to convene a special session of the General Assembly to address the Chicago Public Schools funding crisis.
The calls went out from school board headquarters, parents, teachers, senior citizens, all pressuring state legislators to act. But School Superintendent R.G. Johnson found the efforts of student volunteers especially impressive.
What kind of responses are you receiving?
Well, we're receiving responses that are saying that the state representatives are doing everything they can, and they're very concerned about the Chicago public school system.
Oh, that's encouraging.
But teacher Nilda Soto heard a less encouraging message when she called Senate President Pate Phillips.
He just explained to me that it didn't make sense to have a special session unless there is some kind of an agreement between the union and the Board of Education.
But so far, there is no agreement, and even teachers at the phone-a-thon said they're reluctant to make concessions.
We don't want anything to be given up that we fought for in the past. Like, if everything stays just like it is, most teachers are willing to go back to work, from what I understand. But to take away what we fought so hard for in the past, that's kind of hard to deal with.
Within the half hour, we're expecting a report on what was said inside from Teachers Union President Jacqueline Vaughn, but we are not expecting any announcement of any significant breakthroughs or progress at the bargaining table. Reporting live from the Loop, I'm Derek Blakely, Channel 5 News.
Any indication, Derek, that their tactic will change or they'll try anything else based on the responses they got today?
No, the only indications that we have gotten so far is that teachers may be willing to deal a bit, the union may be willing to deal a bit on the health care issue, but they're standing firm on matters such as a longer school day and also a longer school year, things that would really amount to a salary cut. They feel very strongly they should not give on those issues.
All right, thanks, Derek. Mayor Daley is conducting his own campaign to get schools open on time. The mayor attended a graduation today for boys with emotional problems. He told the graduates it's imperative that schools open on time because they belong in classrooms, not on street corners. And he did reject the idea that the deadline for balancing the school budget should be legally extended.
I mean, this is not something you can fool around with. There has to be deadlines in life. These young men from Montefiore school graduates, they had deadlines to make. They had to have attendance. They had to have records here. They had to do something about it. That's what life is all about. I hate to say it.
2 weeks here or 3 weeks.
The mayor also today visited a summer program for students with mental and physical disabilities. The mayor's office says these children will be among those hit hardest if the schools don't open on time.
Next, we'll tell you about an illegal sweep at the CHA, how officials knew it was illegal, and why they did it anyway.
And a little later, a new baby's debut at the zoo.
Now, Mommy's Moment.
So I get up, get my daughter dressed while I'm getting me dressed, while I'm getting her breakfast, getting her lunch, do a load of laundry, feed the cat, French braid her hair. Brownie Leader calls and tells me it's my turn for snack. Thank you very much. Give the dog a flea pill, frost the cupcakes, dry shave my armpits, put the bills in the mailbox, grab the library book, set the timer on the sprinkler, put a chicken in the crock pot, do a little breast check, turn off Mr. Rogers, brush my teeth, brush your teeth, change my pantyhose, get in the car, get in the car, get in the car!
Well, let me guess. Your husband gets up and goes to work.
How does he do that?
With plenty of towing power and all its hard-working standard features, a new GMC Sierra can really cut down your workload without taking a bite out of your budget. Got a few things to carry around? With V6 power and plenty of payload, a new GMC Sonoma at a price like this could really help.
Before you choose a shop to paint your car, ask a few questions. What about their work?
Can they deliver a factory finish for only $169?
Or is it just another repaint? When it's time to paint your car, make it easy, make it right, make it Mako.
The Channel 5 weather is brought to you in part by Harlem Furniture.
It's almost over.
Harlem Furniture's
Lowest prices of the year sale.
ends Monday at 9.
Prices so low.
They can't be rivaled.
Will not be beaten.
Beautiful furniture.
Gorgeous furniture.
Lowest prices of the year.
Living rooms.
Bedrooms.
Dining rooms and dinettes.
Entertainment walls.
Italian leathers.
Accessories of all kinds.
Lowest prices of the year.
This is the one sale you can't afford to miss.
Harlem Furniture's lowest prices of the year sale.
Only now through Monday till 9.
Harlem Furniture.
You'll like our style.
Security is tight today at Robert Taylor Homes as contractors who were trying to install window bars to keep children from falling out are going back to work. They'd been fired on by snipers, and now the CHA is taking heat for the way it responded to those attacks. The problem is the security sweep conducted by the CHA yesterday was illegal. As Channel 5's Emmett Miller reports, the officers did not have a search warrant.
Today at the Robert Taylor Homes, general maintenance sweeps. A small army of policemen just outside the door. Yesterday at Robert Taylor, a sweep of a different sort.
Yesterday, I know they recovered, the CHA recovered a rifle and quite a lot of narcotics paraphernalia, including, rock cocaine and marijuana and scales and bullets.
Not a single warrant having been issued, the CHA admits the search of 4500 South State Street was illegal. And while the ACLU has filed lawsuits against searches of this sort, the CHA says certain situations make them necessary. Situations like Tuesday's attack on outside contractors.
They were installing some of the child protection devices in the windows, and there was apparently some shots fired and some threats made at the subcontractors.
4 people were arrested on weapons charges. Guthrie says the problem stems from a rival gang war between these two buildings, 4441 and 4500, where the shooting took place. Residents tell us the child guards somehow stopped them from shooting at one another.
And they say they can't shoot out the window because this up here.
That's why they don't want them guards up, because they want to shoot out the window at us.
Today, 4525 will be the last buildings scheduled to be swept at Robert Taylor Homes. The CHA has filed a motion in federal court seeking after-the-fact approval for the warrantless searches. Some residents are just happy to see the police there.
If they can get all these drugs out of here and all these drug dealers, it'd be better.
Emmett Miller, Channel 5 News.
CHA Chairman Vince Lane says he plans to do more searches without securing warrants, and the American Civil Liberties Union says it is considering legal action against the CHA.
In Health Watch this evening, a new study isolates smoking as the leading cause of a deadly form of adult leukemia. The Federal Centers for Disease Control say smokers have a 50% greater risk of developing myeloid leukemia. This study provides the strongest link yet between smoking and this form of leukemia. In fact, the study found that smoking causes more cases of leukemia than all other known risks combined. About 12,000 people are expected to develop myeloid leukemia this year. The disease is often fatal.
In Springfield today, Governor Jim Edgar held a flood summit with local officials to try to clear up the red tape in the aftermath of the flooding disaster. Nearly 150 mayors and other executives were briefed on how cleanup efforts are being coordinated and where they can get help.
We want to get people back on their feet as quick as possible. We also want to get the levees repaired as quick as possible, because if we don't, we could go through this again next spring.
Unfortunately, some communities don't have to wait until next spring for more flooding. It's happening right now. Floodwaters from the Iowa River are now making their way into Iowa City and Coralville. Army Corps of Engineers officials are monitoring the Coralville Dam, where flood overflow could increase lake levels by a foot. It is unusual. Usually when we have a flood, you're talking about a week or two. This has gone on all summer.
There's indication that we might have another pattern setting up, too, which is very troubling to everybody. And, of course, right at this moment, we have a severe thunderstorm watch for Kankakee County and some of the counties south of there. Storm Tracker is looking at some heavy weather. Most of that heavy weather is down to the south of us. And as you can see right now, we're dealing with Orland Park 530, Tinley Park 534, Oak Forest at 539, and Park Forest at 541. This line of look how red, the red area, that's severe thunderstorm activity. The same thing is true here, just moving into Kankakee County, moving eastward at about 30 to 35 miles an hour. And bulletin just brought to me at this moment, at this afternoon, just a few minutes ago, severe thunderstorm from Kankakee to 15 miles northwest of Paxton. We're producing strong winds and heavy rainfall. The storms are moving east at 35. and should be passing through those counties at about 5:45 this afternoon. If you're in the path of those storms around St. Anne, Gilman, and Roberts, you should be alert to the fact that these storms are moving through the area. You can notice one good thing about all this, in spite of the fact that we are getting plenty of lightning all along this line. You can see the lightning stretching all along this line of heavy activity, going as far back as north-central Illinois, and then there's one remaining line of thunderstorm activity out behind that. That is one of the reasons I'm sure that the Weather Service has declared this area under a severe thunderstorm watch until 11 o'clock tonight. That's a tremendous amount of lightning that has occurred just in the past 90 minutes. The good part, okay, there is a good part, is that this line, once it's through, is going to clear up. We won't have much of anything behind that. All the heavy activity should be finished, certainly by 11 or 12 o'clock tonight. Then we should have clearing skies. And the other good part is the weather behind it is just gorgeous. Some sunshine tomorrow morning, mid-60s, northwest wind at 10, sunrise at 6:05. That sunshine is going to be with us throughout the day tomorrow, but the thing you're going to love about tomorrow is less humidity. Near 80 degrees, it'll be a pleasant day, although it'll be a little bit breezy. North winds 15 to 25 miles an hour, and sunset at 7:45. Now, taking a look at what we have in the way of storms for the rest of the evening, they are there. We will have a continuation of the activity we have down across Kankakee County going into northwestern Indiana. They will be ending in the next few hours, and then there will be some clearing in our skies, and the temperatures should be in the mid-60s. And the 5-day outlook, of course, we're looking forward to seeing a very nice weekend in Chicago. We start off with 80 degrees for tomorrow, and then look how nicely they taper off into the 70s and mid-80s. But the humidity should be down on both, particularly Saturday. That's going to be a gorgeous day. Then Monday, it looks like we have showers and thunderstorms coming back and going into Tuesday. But plan for Saturday. That looks like a real winner. That's a day that is going to be worth having at this time of year. And stay with Channel 5 News. We'll give you all the updates on the latest weather problems down across Kankakee County and northwestern Indiana.
I will go with Saturday because that sounds like a great day, but back to the pattern. So then we get storms in again Monday, this every 3, 4, 5 days.
Brent and I have been looking at this pattern develop once again. We're hoping it'll fall apart, but right now we'll have to keep our fingers crossed.
Thanks, Jim.
Well, he buried his father on Sunday. Today, Michael Jordan lets us know what's on his mind about this whole situation. His statement of sports next.
And more walking wounded on the fields of Platteville as the Bears prepare to break training camp. Mark will have that story. Stay tuned.
What if someone were to design a car about the size of a Ford Taurus outside, but with more room for people than Taurus or Toyota Camry inside? Someone did. What if someone were to design a car with safety features Taurus and Camry don't give you, like both driver and passenger side airbags standard, or an available integrated child safety seat? Someone did. And what if a prestigious magazine were to name this car Automobile of the Year? One of them did. Dodge Intrepid. This changes everything.
Here's a news flash from KFC. The Colonel's 9-piece bucket of original recipe chicken is now just $5.99. And that means... Now, some new developments from KFC. Brand new side dishes that will soon be as legendary as the Colonel's original recipe chicken. Now at KFC.
The Super Cellophane sale's going strong at Value City Furniture, and I'm here with Bill Weiss, Director of Sales, with some incredible buys on bedrooms.
Jim, this is the biggest selection of 4-, 5-, and 6-piece bedroom sets in our history, in any style or finish you can imagine. For example, how about this early American bedroom set that includes dresser, mirror, headboard, and chest for only $4.98?
And, Phil, don't forget, we've got all wood bunk beds, only $59, plus living rooms, dining rooms, dinettes, recliners, and more during the Super Cellophane sale going on now at Value City Furniture.
We're talking big savings here. How big? Well, it's so big, we're big as two numbers.
Who needs a lot of hot air when you can get a great lease on a Mazda 626 with more room and a better basic warranty than Altima or Accord? Now during Mazda Simple Summer Savings Days, the value's greater than ever on every Mazda sedan. But hurry, they're going fast.
Our values are going up, 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 up.
No gimmicks, just great deals. Mazda, it just feels right.
Come and spend some time with us. For your free tickets to the Jerry Springer Show, call 312-321-5365.
Mark's in with more on Michael Jordan.
Probably the best way to do this, I would imagine, Mark. In case you missed it earlier, Michael Jordan today issued his first official reaction to the murder of his father, thanking the fans for their sympathy and the authorities for all their efforts. but also saying, I was deeply disturbed by the early reports speculating there was a sinister connection to Dad's death. I was outraged when the speculation continued even after the arrest of the alleged murderers. I simply cannot comprehend how others could intentionally pour salt in my open wound by insinuating that faults and mistakes in my life are in some way connected to my father's death. Michael referring to his association with known gamblers. Jordan added that the majority of media reports were dignified and sensitive and vowed to deal with this situation the way his dad would have. The question now, what about Michael's Ronald McDonald Celebrity Golf Tournament next weekend? Officials said they're still unsure whether Michael will make an appearance, but the show definitely will go on.
We've just talked to Michael, and it is his feeling that the tournament should go on as planned. All proceeds for this tournament, as you know, benefit children, and Michael's feeling is that his father would have wanted the tournament to go on. Our plan is to follow through with all of our original plans.
That's good news. As for the Bears, Dave Wanstead cut 5 players today, including linebacker Tim Polk, and then he worked newly acquired Vincent Smith at all 3 linebacker spots, creating some real competition for a change. In the meantime, Fridge figured with all the rain lately, he should be ready for another shower. And when it rains, it pours. Wanstead down to 2 rookie tight ends now, announcing Keith Jennings will be out at least a month with his knee injury.
He's going to be out probably till after our bye. I mean, is what they're projecting. Oh yeah. Yeah, he's going to be out. It was a no surgery or anything like that, but it's a tear in something in the knee, and he's going to have to rehab and come back. Whitaker and Wet Night are going to get to work here the next 2 weeks, and we plan on going into the season with those guys, and we'll be fine.
Well, we'll see. Finally, got another one of those high-tech exercise stories for you. This machine is called the Power Size. It's a robotic trainer that actually talks you through a condensed workout with some criticism and some encouragement, too.
He knows that I want to gain in my chest and back. He knows that I've skipped the last 3 weeks and haven't worked out. He knows the length of my arms. He knows how strong I am. The robots are talking with you about other members or about other robots, and yet you're getting an hour-and-a-half workout condensed in only 30 minutes.
Mr. Olympia, you are simply wonderful. Reminds me of that electronic scale I have at home that says, hey, 1 at a time. You know?
All right, thanks. Let's check with Joan and find out what's coming up at 6.
Ron, 3 brothers who work for the city of Chicago are in trouble with the law.
I never had no guns. The only guns I had in my house was a BB gun.
John Spina and his brother Anthony face weapons charges, but a third brother, Chris, faces much more serious charges. And Charlie Wojciechowski with a weekend preview. Charlie?
Right now we're at Meigs Field. That's an Air Force Reserve transport plane here for the Chicago Park District's Air and Water Show. We'll have a preview coming up at 6 o'clock.
Thanks, Charlie, and we will have much more when you join us at 6. Mark?
All right, Joan, thanks. Finally, a big day at Brookfield Zoo. Coming out of sorts for its newest addition. This is who they're making all the fuss about, little Kutai. First orangutan born in the zoo's history. Species is endangered, which makes Kutai's birth a special event, not just at Brookfield, but around the world. She was born 3 weeks ago and has been in the secluded area of the zoo's Tropic World Asia exhibit until today.
And that's the news to now. NBC Nightly News is coming up next.
Thanks for watching.